Hey there. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I'll say that again. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast. Oh, yep, with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Now it's time for the Big Bad Broadcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to welcome you to Bitchin Baby Boomers.
Hey, Bitchin Baby Boomers, welcome to the show, and we got a great show for you today. We got Rick Overton, amazing. He actually won an Emmy.
That's right.
Ooh, we've never had an Emmy Award winner before, but he's on the show. Great guy, he's a funny guy. And it's been a crazy, crazy week with masks and people going nuts. We're going to get to all of that. And the week is crazier than we are. So speaking of crazies, my good friend Mike Grief.
Who are you calling crazy, man? I'm insane. I feel like Crazy Eddie, man. Long Island Clown College.
And we got Joe Silky, the mind reader.
I knew you were going to say that.
I did. That was his Moose impression.
That never gets old, Joe.
And we got Craig Mitchell, our Yoda, our man behind the thing, and you'll see how good he is to keeping the show together. Because we had some problems this week. We had a little storm. We had a little storm, hurricane storm.
Let me show you how I'm going to handle it. You ready?
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Ida? You know what? Of course you don't name a storm Ida. Of course the storm is going to be a bitch. I mean, come on. It's a and Ida. I name it Ida.
Ida, make lunch for me.
Lady.
If the wind doesn't get you, the storm will nag you to death.
That's right. Did you remember my Depends? I got to go down. You talk about the original Karen. They should have named it Ida.
Lane's Merge called me the other day and said, with this world of political correctness, are they going to have to change the state name of Idaho?
Oh, wait a minute.
From the BBBRadio.com headquarters, this is Arthur Seal with a breaking news update. You give a moment, we'll give you nonsense.
Oh my God, they just put this across my desk. Is this a real story?
If it came across your desk, it must be.
Maybe it's a roach.
Yeah, Eunice sent it.
Lanes is missing.
What?
Yeah, that's what it says. It says Lanes Merge is missing. We're going to have to get back to you on this. This is a pretty disturbing story.
Maybe he's in England and he's just on the right side.
I don't know, but I'm moving this microphone because you can't see my face.
Actually, it's a bonus. No.
That's really disturbing.
Yeah,
it is disturbing because he's the opening of our show every week.
And nobody knows why.
Wow.
Oh man, that's the perfect topic to this week. You know, it's like Lanes is, the legend is missing. I go, you got crazies, man. The world is nuts this week. Ron death sentence. Overruled and everything about masks. Kids are now wearing masks in school. And he's not happy. He's going to deduct the teachers' salaries and the superintendent's salary. Then I read in the paper.
Somebody should duct tape him to a chair.
I know. I'm so sick of these anti-masker people.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, Trump now is all over, like the right-wing media. He's on Fox. He's doing these stories. And he's saying, my kill of a terrorist was bigger than Obama's. It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, especially,
my pillow's better than your pillow. My pillow's better than yours.
This is on the verge of 9/11, which was the biggest tragedy this country has seen since Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, my kill was better. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nuts, you know? I mean, how sacrilegious? Anyway, I think we have a clip to show you how crazy this is.
The United States has conducted an operation that killed Osama bin Laden.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
The United States launched a targeted operation against that compound.
They did a lot of shooting, and they did a lot of blasting, even not going through the front door. You know, you think you go through the door. If you're a normal person, you say, knock, knock, may I come in?
After a firefight, they killed Osama bin Laden and took custody of his body.
He died like a dog.
His death does not mark the end of our effort.
A beautiful dog.
We give thanks for the men who carried out this operation.
And I don't get any credit for this, but that's okay. I never do. But here we are.
May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
And I'm writing a book. All did very well.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's insanity at its best. It really is.
I miss him.
Say that again, Chris. We'll be missing you.
No, I was talking about Osama bin Laden. I was talking about Osama bin Laden.
Hey, Craig said I missed him, so I reloaded and tried again.
I have the gun right here.
I mean, words don't mean we normal people knock at the door. Hi, we're the SWAT team. We're here to kill you.
Yeah,
we're special forces.
Is this a convenient time, or can we come back later?
You're going to die like a dog, a beautiful dog.
Have you ever seen that Sebastian Maniscalco thing about the Bin Laden raid? Oh, it is the funniest, man. He goes. They come in, they're like, they walk down a hall. Guy comes out eating hummus.
Like they know he was eating hummus.
It's so funny though. He goes, the guy comes out eating hummus.
He went straight to heaven for the hummus.
They said that he was Osama bin Laden was playing a video game when they broke in.
Yeah, Donkey Kong.
He
was playing Donkey Kong.
I hope it wasn't a flight simulator.
He was playing Miss Pac-Man.
Miss Pac-Man.
She's not wearing a mask. She's not wearing a veil. He must kill her. She's not wearing a burqa.
Masking.
Hey, speaking of not wearing masks, have you seen these crazies on the news? I pulled out a couple of clips. I mean, this is insane. Can you roll one of those, Craig?
Sure.
This morning, fallout growing from this disturbing flight fight, ending in a passenger being wrapped in tape. 22-year-old Maxwell Berry now facing charges, accused of unruly behavior on a Frontier Airlines flight from Philadelphia to Miami Saturday.
You guys suck!
Police say Berry had been drinking and groped two female flight attendants and assaulted a male flight attendant. Berry seen here swinging at the man trying to restrain him.
I love it. It says he groped two, but he assaulted the male. No, he was trying to grope the guy, too. Come on. I like a shock. He was drunk. What a shock.
Exactly. I mean, that was a pretty, masculine flight attendant, too.
Come on. He was like, come on, the girls wouldn't give me anything. Come on, you. He was trying to kiss the male flight guy.
I mean, the fact that they had the duct tape. But they go, he duct taped them. I never saw clear duct tape.
Yeah, that was medical tape for sure.
That was Scotch tape.
That was
his first aid kit.
I mean, and just a tip to the audience, please, if you're going to buy good duct tape, because you don't want it coming off the mouth and the wrists, and you don't need those kind of extra problems.
We actually go ahead, Ron. No, you go ahead.
No, why aren't airplanes carrying zip ties and stuff like that? You know,
that's a good idea.
Well, I thought every flight had an air marshal on it too.
That was the air marshal.
That was the air marshal. Hi, I'm Air Marshal Tickle Me Elmo.
I was on a flight once with Penny Marshall.
Penny Marshall.
There you go. Wow. She could have taken that guy.
Yeah. Did you see the guy at the airport who freaked out, John?
Oh my God, I did watch this. This guy. All I kept thinking when I was watching this clip was, I wish Mike Grief was sitting in the airport and put an end to it.
I wouldn't stand there and watch this shit. I would just like walking up. I just picture Mike walk up to him from behind, tap him on the shoulder, and go, "You coming with me? You coming with me?" As soon as he turned around, taking him out. Show that.
Space is now
I do not wear a mask because I do not believe I need one.
You're literally everywhere.
If you're scared of me, that's you. That's on you. Fuck you if you don't believe in individual liberty. Yeah. Good luck in your life. I'm pretty sure I'm about to get kicked out of here, but you know what? I do not give a fuck!
There are children here. We're not going to...
I do not give a crap! If you believe in what you believe, rise up and do not do it! It's that simple! It's that simple! You have a right! My body, my choice! And I believe in that! My body, my choice! Anybody that doesn't believe in that, please walk!
You're now on the internet.
As he
walks.
Please walk!
He goes, "Let's walk." Like he thinks everyone's going to follow him. Nobody follows him.
It's like Tom Belushi at the, come on, where's the Deltas I used to know?
Oh, it's like that scene in where what's his name goes to do the streaking, and he goes, "Come on, everybody!" He runs out, and he's the only one naked.
Oh my God!
My favorite,
my body, my choice. I would just rip his intestines out.
My body, my choice until it comes to abortion.
Why don't people get involved? Why do people just maybe it's funny, that's why, because you let them rant and rip. But you're right, John. If I was there, I probably would have grabbed one of those metal things that they make the line with and just smacked them in the back of the head and just,
nobody was into it.
It's so funny. The guy was like terrorizing this group at the airport. And the woman taping with the phone, you can hear her laughing through the whole thing. She wasn't exactly afraid of this guy.
No, they're all like that. There was that one woman at the end when he goes, "I don't give a fuck," and you hear her go, "There are children here," and he goes, "I don't give a crap," and she goes, "That's better."
That's better.
But you know what? That is going to be his defense when he goes to court. His attorney's going to go, "Well, watch this clip. He obviously isn't crazy."
I think that's why people aren't getting involved, because it's too funny. People are just laughing. This is comic relief. This is what settles for
the world is absolutely crazy.
But you know what, though? Hollywood predicted this 40 years ago, 1982.
Really?
And I have proof, too. Yeah, watch this clip.
I know it. She's going to ask. I know that flight attendant's going to come over here, and she's going to tell me to put a mask on. Well, no way. I'm just going to lay here and not wear a mask. That's right. Not wearing a mask. Yeah. My body, my choice. Yep. It's my body, my choice. And nobody's going to tell me to wear a mask. Nobody. Wait. Here she comes. Here she
Excuse me, sir. I know it's inconvenient, but you have to wear a mask.
Let's go. Predicted the future.
I think it's funny that the pilot is out there trying to calm him down.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Eunice for her voiceover playing the stewardess.
Yes.
She did a great job.
Oh, yeah. Listen, this is not a road we usually go down on this show, but boy, you have to. Let's just change the subject. Okay. Mike, do you remember your first car?
No, but I remember my first vehicle. Craig, I think there you go. This is well, it wasn't the exact bike because I couldn't find a picture of the. My first vehicle was a '77 Triumph Bonneville with the extended forks, flames on the gas tank. It had the seat like that. It was the The only thing is every mile or so I had to stop to pick up the horn. It vibrated so much that the horn would actually fall up. So I'd have to get off of it every couple miles and pick up my horn.
But I just got to tell you,
Bonneville, yeah.
I was coming back from a car drive with that antique car show, and I was following this guy in the front of me who had a 60 TR4A, and all of a sudden I'm following him, and he pulls off on the side of the road, and I pull over, and he gets out of the car and he runs back, and he goes, "My alternator just fell off."
I think Triumph was known for vibrating so hard, but parts were just falling.
That's what made me think about when you said a Triumph.
They should have just had a service where somebody comes up behind you and sweeps you up the parts that you're losing.
Oh, boy. Hey, what kind of car did you have?
Me? My first car was a 1965 Ford Mustang.
Wow, that's really nice.
Well, that's after the $29.99 Earl Shive paint job. When I bought it, it looked like this.
There you go.
Actually, it looked like that after the paint job. Come on, Earl Shive.
Hey, Earl Shive. I had a car painted by Earl Shive once. It was like crazy. You pull into the garage, and a bunch of old ladies come out, and they start masking taping your whole car. And then it goes into the other room, and this guy's spraying, man. He doesn't care what he's spraying. And then they put it in it looked like a curved room with 1,000 heat lamps.
To bake it, yeah.
To bake your paint on. But it's true. It was like $29 or $50. I think it was $59.
Whatever it was, they said, "Hey, do you want to spend $75 and get the rust taken off?" And I went, "No, just paint over."
It was another $20. You wanted the insides of the doors done. Like if you were changing color, like if you went from gray to blue, the inside of your doors would still be gray.
You could have bought spray paint and done a better job than Earl Shive.
They recommend you leave it there for an hour to dry. I said, "No, I just took it out and I drove 60 miles an hour for an hour, and that was it."
He had bugs stuck to it.
Like he was coming out of the car wash.
Like, Craig, what a great idea in the paint to stick bugs and things on it. I did that on purpose.
I personally had a couple of classic cars growing up. My first car, believe me, it didn't look anything like that. It was the same. Cool car. It was the same color, really? But it was that was the car and the color. But the color didn't look like Craig's car, right? Before it was painted. And the car, my two aunts chipped in for me for my birthday. I think they paid $50 for the car. And the car ran pretty well. Again, I took the back seat out and I put a mattress in. And
seven people put in it.
And there was a thing that went into the trunk. I knocked that wood down. So you could actually lay in there and sleep like a camper. And
that's sleep, why you did it, John, to sleep. Yeah,
I did, because we used to go, we could only surf in Long Beach up till 9 a.m. So no matter what we did, we went to the beach that night and slept in the car so we'd get up in the morning. The greatest part was I would pull up for a date, and the father would look at the car, and he'd see this mattress in the back seat and go, boy. "Why don't you take my car?" So I got to drive a 68 Charger.
That's funny. I always figured your first vehicle had horses pulling it.
How big?
It did.
How big is that steering wheel?
Wait, I am so like nuts that I decided one day I was going to drive it on the beach. The car had a steering wheel the size of the room I'm sitting in.
Yeah,
and it weighed about 2 tons. I went right down to the fenders, put it in reverse, tried to rock it out, and blew reverse. And the next year, I drove that big beast of a car without reverse. And I knew where to park so I could roll backwards. And then my dad goes, "Look, that car's crazy." So he gave me his old car, which was the classic 66 Corvair.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if we can use the word classic, John.
And they had a book written about it called "Dangerous at Any Speed."
Yeah, that was crap. I mean, that was crap. That was a great car. I put snow tires on the back, and that thing went on the beach like 40 miles an hour. But
which was its top speed on the street anyway.
We would stop. We had 2 of them actually in our family. We had a Corvair station wagon also.
It had a rear engine too. I didn't know
rear engine. So we used to stop at a light coming back from the beach and do like a Chinese fire drill. Everyone would jump out. We'd pop up in the front hood. And people would go, "You having a problem?" They'd go, "Can we help?" And we go, "Yeah, somebody took the motor." We thought that was really funny. And then after that, the car that you all make fun of was my Opel station wagon. And my Opel station wagon had curtains all around the inside of it, had a mattress in the back. And the story about that is it had an FM converter in it. And it wasn't actually an FM converter. It was like a transistor FM radio that I had wired in. And also on the back, because it was 1970, I believe, I went to the store and I got this early American decal of an eagle, like this big, holding. Listen. No, holding the whatever it holds. Yeah, the arrows or whatever. Arrows.
Yeah.
So I cut the arrows out and I put a big peace sign on it, right? So this big American eagle holding this peace sign. And my neighbor, we got up one morning and my father's pretty mild guy. He's yelling at this. I hear him yelling. I open up the door. My neighbor was outside peeling the peace sign off the eagle.
Oh, jeez.
And my father was just like, "You touch his car, there's going to be problems." So I was like,
kill you. What was the neighbor like? "We don't believe in peace in this country. This is a war country."
Tommy, we believe in war.
Peace.
He told my dad I was a dirty hippie.
Well, he was probably the grandfather of that guy at the airport.
Oh God. I'm sorry, but some people just need the shit.
But the Opel station wagon was good. What I used to do with the Opel station wagon is I'd pull my curtains. Oh, jeez, I'm getting a phone call. I don't want this. Sorry.
That was the Opel people. They want to know if you want to buy another one.
They'll pay you $22.48 for that out of the car.
All right, so I would go to the drive-in movie, and I would have my little mattress in the back, and I would pull the curtains, and I'd pull in backwards and open up the gate, and we would lay there and watch movies. And, it was pretty cool.
You're the first person I've ever met who lost their virginity in an Opel.
I don't know if I lost my virginity in an Opel, but I used to, I don't know.
Yeah. I had an Opel. I had an Opel when I was a kid. My dad bought it at the junkyard for $25. He took the engine out and put it in my backyard so I could play in it. He did.
Opel used to have that car that looked like a little Corvette that was kind of cool.
No, mine looked like a car.
Opel GT.
Yeah. John Levy Mobile. Levy Mobile.
The cool.
You had a GT, version. Didn't you, Joe?
Yeah. I had a Vega GT.
What?
1978.
So the Opel GT is about equivalent as to a Corvette as your car is to the story you're going to tell us.
Right, yeah. Well, my car looked a lot like a Camaro. It was like a mini Camaro. It was so cool. Well, Craig, show them the video.
Okay.
It was the summer of 1976. It was the year of the bicentennial and the year I graduated from high school. So it was the summer I got my license and my first car, a 1974 Chevrolet Vega GT. It was orange with black stripes. The famous car at the time was the Camaro. So to me, the Vega GT was the perfect answer. It looked a little like a Camaro, but it was a small car. It had a 4-speed transmission and an AM radio. A friend put on an FM converter so I could get FM radio too. I had another friend who went to auto mechanic school to check out the car for me. He said bye. What I did not know was the car was a Frankenstein car. It had been in an accident, and the engine was pieced together with any parts the seller could get to make it run. So my dream car turned out to be a nightmare. 10 months later, on a stormy Sunday night, I was driving a little too fast and turned the wrong way into a skid, and that was the end of my 1974 Vega GT.
Oh yeah. I used to mistake those for Camaros all the time.
Yeah.
You notice in the end, the hot chick in the short shorts isn't even looking at the car?
I thought that was Eunice. I was going to say, Eunice got a fish.
Did it have those cool wheels?
Yes.
GT. Wow. GT in a Vega stood for good try.
Yeah.
It was cool.
I don't remember that
Take
car.
me.
I'll tell you. You know, my first wife, when we were going out, she had a Vega, same color, that orange, pumpkin orange. It's her first new car. She was so excited, and after 2 weeks, she came out and said, "My car looks like it's got scratches." And I go, "Yeah, what happened to it?" She goes, "Well, it was dirty, so I washed it with Brillo."
Oh, my God.
There you go.
There you go.
The Menza Award goes to.
Oh, man.
Meanwhile, my Triumph, I don't even put water on it. I clean it with dry
I wish I wish I had back. I had a Chevy Nova, 69 Chevy Nova, but the engine was a piece of crap. But
the Novas are cool, though.
It was the coolest car. It was the coolest car. I needed to drop a better engine in it, but it was very cool.
Well, those
you know what Vega stands for in Spanish? Vega means dweller of the meadow.
Dweller of the meadow. Yeah, because that's where they all end up, out in the middle of the meadow. Fucking rotten and rusting. Dweller in the meadow.
With bumblebees this big as you crawl into a cave.
I'm going to dwell in the meadow, man.
Oh, my God, that's funny.
All right. Well, in the following interview, we had some technical issues with the streaming and the internet, but we're doing the best that we can, and we hope you enjoy it. So, Rick Overton.
Good luck. Watch out the arc. This thing sticks a little bit. You got jiggle it. Come on out here, pal. Come on, give me your keys, pal. Give me the keys. Friends don't let friends drive, right? Come on, stand up here. Take a deep breath. You feel okay? Really? Okay, you're all right. Oh, whoa. You want to throw up here or you want to throw up in the car? I think both. Come on. 3 cheeseburgers, 2 large fries, 2 chocolate shakes, and 1 large Coke. And some flapjacks. Too early for flapjacks?
So, Rick, hey, man, it's great to see you, brother. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Hey, baby boomer. How you doing, Pops?
Oh, man. So, you know what? Yes, man, it's a pleasure to have you. And so to introduce you to the audience, I just want to say Rick is probably one of my idols. He's one of my favorite comedians in the world, one of my favorite people in the world. Here's my personal story. I just know we did a film. We did it together. We weren't in the same scenes, but it was Ed TV. And I remember walking into Ron Howard's office with you when we read together for the film Ed TV. And here's what an incredible person Rick Overton is. I remember him. Ron Howard got up from behind his desk to meet us halfway in the room. And here's Rick shaking his hand, me shaking, and Rick telling Ron Howard what a funny guy I was. I mean, what kind of, you're just an amazing person. You're an amazing comic.
Well, thanks.
So,
because it's true. I wouldn't have said it if it wasn't true. I want to change the subject.
Yeah. So, you've been doing it for a long, long time. I know you're from Forest Hills, New York, right?
That's right.
Right. And did you start comedy in New York, or did you start when you moved out to LA or San Francisco?
Well, we moved to New Jersey in 1966 because my dad was a jazz musician and he was working with Thelonious Monk and Dizzy Gillespie, and so they moved to Englewood, New Jersey, and they had. They said there's a nice little area here. You should come out and see it. And we had a little get together and showed off Englewood, and we were sold. So we moved to Englewood because the parking was better.
There you go. Why else would you move to Englewood except for the parking? And
so it's a suburb of Manhattan.
Yeah, and so it was that where the jazz loft was? Was that in Englewood?
No, that was back in Manhattan again.
That was back in Manhattan,
where we lived we lived in. Was in Englewood, New Jersey, but the loft was back on in Manhattan.
Right. And so your dad was an arranger. He was a musician. He was like I say, he worked with Thelonious Monk. Your mom was a singer too, right?
That's right. My mom was one of the Chordettes, not one of the original Chordettes from recording, but the way Ink Spots and all the groups can franchise. with one of the original members and move to another thing, and then 3 new members join, and that's an Ink Spots, and then another guy goes over here, and that's an Ink Spots. So Mom was in the original Chordettes, first replacement in the group. And so we would go to car shows, and we would go to county fairs. But so as a young kid going along, I would see lots and lots of comedians. As a kid, it was imprinting on me immediately.
And so that's so as at a pretty young age, you decided that you did you know you wanted to do stand up? I mean, you saw it imprinted on you, and you knew it's like, God, I want to do that, because that feeling of power.
I think so. Yeah, I think it kind of early. I knew getting that first time a girl would do like in class, for being funny, and I did nothing I ever did got that before being funny.
Yeah, no, I think guys like I know for a guy,
very sacred place in my life,
Yeah, no, I know for a guy like me, if I wasn't funny, I would have never gotten laid. I'd still be a virgin today, probably, if I could make chicks laugh. So you started doing the comedy, and I mean, God, it's like you've had this amazing career. You won you're an Emmy winner. You're like, I think the first person I ever met who's actually, well, I have one other friend, but I think I met you before him. You won an Emmy. That was for Dennis Miller Live, right?
Right, and on HBO's Dennis Miller Live. That's right.
I know John was asking, can we see the Emmy? But then you'd probably have to get up and go get it. So, there you go. He's going to go get the Emmy. John's going to get to see an actual. Very cool. Look at that. There you go. That is very cool. An actual
grab it for podcasts.
You could. It's not like for podcasts, but it's keep it close in case somebody breaks into your apartment, man. You could kill somebody with one of those.
You don't want to meet the tips of these wings, my friend.
Very cool. So the and you know what? Like I said, I think my first memory though that I have of seeing you was Babes, the TV show Babes.
The wonderful Wendy Jo Sperber.
Yeah, and that was like one of the original body image kind of a thing, right? It
right.
Was,
that's right. Heavy set gals that didn't meet the contemporary media standard for what beauty meant, showing that they were beautiful for lots of reasons.
Right.
And, I thought that was a bold idea for a show, especially back then.
Like what year was that? Was 90, it sometime?
It was 90, something like that, 90, 91.
It was because, I mean, before then, every actress and model, if they ate like a grape before the show, they had a little bump in their belly. Oh, no, we can't shoot today. It's like. So that was very cool. And then, of course, we have a clip. I don't know when we're going to show it, but it's of you doing some improv. With,
this is like the jazz thing that my dad had in his world. Kind of got into my blood, but not so much thinking I could be a great musician, but to improvise and to see you have permission to play, and that could be great.
Yeah.
Seeing people like my dad would hip me to people like Jonathan Winters and play records up in the attic, and we would spend hours, and I would not always understand what Dad was laughing at, but I sure wanted one of his laughs. And so, I mean, there's a lot of psychology going on here, but it's not bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, God, you've held your own with the best.
I've been very happy with. I've been very glad to have this life. I'm very grateful because I'm, look, I've tried to get a comedy special going here, and I got one at this age. I'm, 67 years old, and I'm pumping out a special. What am I doing? I'm improvising a completely off-book, no planning, 1 hour commercial called Rick Overton Set Special, and it's on Amazon and on. It's going to be on Netflix soon, and also on ComedyDynamics.com. And so I want people to tune into the idea that you can just You can play, because specials like this, you don't need to prep an entire year. Set list, they make up the topics for you. They project them behind you. You don't even know what you're going in. You're going in absolutely cold to face the audience. And you turn, look, there's the topic, and you just start talking. So I thought, if I'm going to go in, why not do the riskiest thing possible, you know?
Exactly. I mean, it takes huge balls to do that. Like most comics, the most terrifying, we try to, of course, make it look like I'm just making this up on the spot for you. Hey, here's my blah, 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 but you've always been amazing to me, because I think you thrive and you love and the scariness of not knowing what comes next. And, most people are terrified of that, and you get off on it.
You're right, Mike. I get off on it. That's the same reason I ride motorcycles, man.
Yeah. And set list is
that curve. Oh, shit, I made that curve. I can't believe I did that. That deer came so damn close. Oh, my God. Woo! You get
Well, I would tell everyone watching, definitely, rent set list and check it out, because, it's all, it's not this, pre-packaged, whatever. It is spontaneous. It's right in the moment. You never know what's going to happen next. And, you're watching improv with probably, one of the best improvs of all time, Rick Overton. So.
Wow. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
How's your bike running?
My bike is being a little bitch right now. And, but I think it just needs a new battery. I'm going to put a new battery in it probably sometime next week. And
what year is it?
It's a 91. It's an old 91 Softail. So it's a little,
you still got the Evo in there. You still got the Evo engine, right?
Yeah, it's got the Evo, and it's amazing. I bought it with, I think I had 5,000 miles on it. You know how a lot of people buy motorcycles and they're just showpieces and they sit around and, they never get ridden, and so.
5,000. How many have you done?
I've only put a couple of thousand on. It's only got about 8,000 now, because it's out here. I just run it up into the hills. It's kind of a bar hopper. It's not really a distance motorcycle. It's trust me, I've got 18-inch ape hangers on it, and after a half an hour, my fingers go numb, so I have to stop and get off.
Yeah, I know you got the ape there, but you never have underarm sweat.
No, you're always cool. How about? Are you still riding, or you
got bugs and birds in there?
That's it, and and the teeth too, because you got to half that. I got to look cool. I don't care if I get brain damage, but I got to look cool. Are you still riding, or not at the moment?
Not at the moment.
No.
I had some Beamers towards the end there, like the police have.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to talk about
that police bike.
Yeah. Well, those are nice. But I know I was going to ask you about Groundhog's Day, because I know a lot of people are going to recognize you. I mean, it's one of my all-time favorite movies, and my two all-time favorite characters in the movie, of course, are you and the other Rick.
Ricky.
I mean, you guys are just. I know you had, Rick Dukerman. So how was that working with him and with Bill Murray?
Oh, well, sometimes when you get a certain kind of chemistry with an old friend, that reads in the room, they say. And Rick was an old friend, and we just played these two local guys from the bowling alley, these two sad sacks who are not stuck in the Groundhog Day time loop, but it almost seems as if they are, because their life is so repetitious where they live anyway. And we got to play a lot, because thank you, Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis was a Second City improviser himself. And so a lot of that scene you will see not so much in the bowling alley. I mean, yes, there are improvised little moments in the bowling alley. But once we get out and it's physical shtick, he let us come up with all kinds of stuff. Wow. I'm coming up with a slip and slide on the ice and have to throw up. We added the whole have to throw up dynamic, and Bill Murray's whispering lines. All right, so I'm going to go, do you want to throw up here or in the car? And you say both. So and flapjacks, that was all improvised, and so there's room for it if you get the faith of your director or the people who cast you to know this guy does that, so it's going to be good to use them for that.
Yeah.
That's another great reason for all you young performers to study improv and learn how it goes on camera, too.
Definitely. And improv and stand-up has actually helped me in a lot of auditions and to feel free, because it's like an audition is like performing, so I'm in front of the producers and whatever, and I'm just doing a performance. And so, it's definitely, and I've been lucky enough to do like you an improv on shows. I know I've done things in scenes where it's like, you just come out while they're taping and they're cracking up and, they go, oh, keep that in, so.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's to have the confidence to know where to do it and the wherefore to know when not to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So
any step on a line in the wrong place and all the leads are,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you don't want to do that to them. So it's always knowing the graceful place where it goes.
Yep. So I want to see if we can't bring some of the guys in. I know that because we're going to show definitely had some clips to show. I don't know how because I know this is kind of freezing.
It might kill my part. It might kill my end. It sounds a little choppy at my end.
It's you've been on. I don't know, my end. You've been freezing and kind of like the sound has been good, but the video has been freezing a lot. So I don't know how it's going to cut in anyway. But we'll find out. But I was going to say before we try that. So anything? I know of course it's COVID, but are you doing anything? Do you have any gigs set up? Anything live? Anything going on?
Not at the moment. This special is the whole kit and caboodle right here. And I'm pushing this special. I want people to see this thing because there aren't a lot of comedy specials doing this.
Yeah,
it's kind of a one-off.
Oh, it's a way off, Well, but anything you do, I always go, that's way off. This guy's woo.
You and I go way back to those Jerry Stanley gigs, I believe.
Hey.
Well, you and I worked many, many, many years ago in Jersey, and I think maybe even at the East Side Comedy Club in Long Island. But we've crossed paths. We've crossed paths many times on Comic Strip Live, I believe. I had a funny story just about Groundhog's Day. I was flying out to California to do the Magic Castle, and I was on the flight, and I fell asleep, and I kept waking up during the movie and thought I lost my mind because I kept waking up in the same scene that I fell asleep in. It couldn't have written something this funny. I kept falling asleep and waking up, and I'm going, what's going on? I'm looking at my watch, and I'm going, no, I slept for 30 minutes. I slept for 30 minutes. Why is the movie the same? But I do remember that scene vividly.
You gotta take the notes. He's getting slightly better every time.
So, it seems like we go way, way back to the early days of comedy before these guys were even doing comedy,
Pre-boom, they would call it, huh?
Yeah, that's like John Mendoza. I was with him once, and this guy said, "You got any advice?" And Mendoza went, "Yeah, the boom is over. Get another job."
I wouldn't know what to tell a young performer at this very moment about what entry level looks like. I'm not sure I would know what to say.
Yeah, I always tell people when we started on I was one of the remember it was like the city guys and the Long Island guys. But on Long Island, we had 7 full-time comedy clubs within a 40-mile radius.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you could work anywhere, and it's like, I remember when I used to get ready, like for Comic Strip Live, and Rory Rosegarden was my manager at the time. And I used to go into the city, and I would do Dangerfields, then I'd drive over. I'd take a cab over to Catch, then from Catch, I'd go to the Improv, then I'd go down to the Comedy Cellar. From the Comedy Cellar, I would go across to Cafe Wah, and then repeat the whole thing. Do that for 2 nights and make $60. But when I got on the TV show, it was ready to go,
We got a lot of practice back then.
Yeah. And, do you think this too? I think it was a different vibe back then. I remember there wasn't big headliner opening MC. It was like you get 3 guys, you'd be driving up to Dubonnaise and you'd go, who wants to MC?
Yeah, right. It was less structured, and it didn't matter as much. The structure is much more important now, and we didn't see it as a status issue. What are you making me open for? It was just like, okay, I'll try that. I'll try this. Okay, I'll try headlining. I hope I can.
Yeah, and it was sort of like, I don't know, it just seemed like a totally different vibe. Like everyone I think was like on the same level at that point. We all didn't know what we were.
We accepted everyone as being our peers, and there were no status markers to tell anybody you got this and you got that, so you're better or anything. We were all just trying out, and we all were very supportive of each other. We all would take notes and throw jokes and one-liners to each other.
Yeah, of course.
And
I remember I watched this young guy do this act once, and I thought of a great line for him. And I gave it to him, and he was like, well, I can't do that in my show. And I go, why not? He goes, because I didn't write it. And I was like, half of our acts were our friends going, hey, it's a great premise. Try this as a tag. Try this. Or, you know what I mean?
It's not a disgrace if look, most of it is yours. Someone threw one line.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can lose your self-image from one line, you got to work on your self-image.
Exactly. But I think it's true what you just said. I think that's a valid point. There wasn't a lot of TV for us back then. So there was not like, well, this guy's doing this. Oh, why didn't I get that? You know what I mean? We were all just floundering around and having fun.
Yeah. And they weren't paying so much that the pressure was on that if you fuck all of this up, it's the end of your world.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Well, listen, we got a lot of poor guys that probably want to ask a few more questions and stuff. So it's great seeing you again after all these years.
Great.
I've been a fan for years. I've been a fan for years. It just brings back a lot of memories.
Oh, they're good memories, John. And we had some together back then in the heyday, man.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, bring it back to Craig.
How you doing?
Hi. Great.
Cool.
Hey.
We've never met. We've never met. I'm a comedian, but I'm a big fan, and I wanted to. There's two things you've done that blow me away. One, you're at the end credits of Trekkies, which is I'm a big Star Trek fan. You're doing the Star Trek jokes.
Roger fit me in there. He got me in.
And I remember the very first time I saw you not do stand-up was in the movie Willow when you played a brownie. And I always wanted to ask you how it was back then filming that because it had to be just you and
Kevin Pollak.
Right, all alone. Right?
Just us. That's right. People say, what was it like in New Zealand? And I go, well, they didn't need us there. They needed us in San Rafael. San Rafael is where ILM was at the time, and that's because we wouldn't be needed on location because we're real size. I'm in real life as big as General Kale in real life. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". So you got to put me on the blue screen. So Kevin Pollak and I held the record for the most amount of blue screen little people running around in a scene since Darby O'Gill in The Little People. We beat Darby O'Gill. So how about that, we would do lots of improv and stuff like that. That some of it even made it in, and but there's a lot of outtakes. We had the first fake behind the scenes with special effects put in, where they would be interviewing us, where we were sitting behind a giant Barbie dream house that they leave for us to live in while we're filming. And they're saying that George won't even get me the pink Corvette or something like that, and Kevin is complaining in his tiny folding chair. Well, people are dropping candy wrappers on us and disregarding us. And, hey, watch where you're going, So
that's hilarious.
There were loads and loads of fun. It was 5 straight weeks of shooting.
Really?
7 days a week. To get it all done in time because they had to wrap it all up. There was so much principal photography, and they were also working day and night on inventing morphing for that film. All film morphing is because of that movie. When he's doing the wand and turning her from a goose into a tiger, So that was for that scene. So they were tirelessly inventing new things for that movie. And so it doesn't get all the credit it deserves. It was sort of the first Lord of the Rings movie in a way.
Like I said, I have a friend. I mean, he absolutely swears by that movie. We've watched it several times together. Did you know they're actually rebooting it into a TV series? I don't know which platform it's on.
Yeah. I heard. I ran into Kevin at Whole Foods. We were talking about it. He hadn't heard any more about it going further for us guys. But you never know. We might make an appearance.
Oh, they got to do that. They have to pay homage to it.
Mandalorian doesn't use a lot of the original guys either, so I don't know what happened.
Yeah, that's true. But you mentioned improv, which is I had an improv group for 5 years, and I wish I could say I was good at it. I was functional, is what I would say about myself. But we have a clip here, if you don't mind me playing it. That actually Mike found this online of you improvising with Robin Williams, and I got to tell you,
is that outdoors? Is it Comedy Day?
Yeah, when you're doing it on Skype. Yeah, if you, I'm going to play it right now, so I'll be back after the clip.
Look over here, Rick. You've come back from Scotland.
It's outdoors, right?
Look at this. Freedom! Right there, Braveheart! Greatest fucking movie ever made! Just for that one shot of 4,000 pairs of Scottish balls. Right there, and the little children are going, oh, there are kids. Hi, boys and girls.
You'll have fun. And what did you do over the weekend? Tell the whole class.
4,000 pairs of Scottish balls.
Okay, let's go to the doctor.
Robert, come in. How is the Skype broadcast going? We're broadcasting on Skype. Give it. Give it. Come in. Say it. Thanks to AT&T. Just barely receiving.
Absorbing other companies and making them shitty too.
That's right.
Man, that's hilarious, man. And the thing is, you kept up with Robin, man. It's like you have definitely have my envy and my compliments. That was hilarious.
Very grateful. I was very grateful to get the chance to meet and goof around with Robin Williams, who was also a huge fan of Jonathan Winters, like I was. That was one of the things that bound our friendship together, almost 50 years ago. And let's see, it was that and Peter Sellers were the two kind of common. Oh, yes, he loved him too. And so we would go on and on for hours about those two guys. And Peter would also improvise his ass off during lots of takes. And so we would play together at the 142 Throckmorton all the time, which was just across the way from where that was in Robin Williams Meadow. And it was a great stage space, still is, if they ever reopen again, and they will. And we would do hours on stage together. That's hours.
Amazing. One last question before I bring Joe up. I was going to ask you, you actually had a recurring part in the Showtime series, I'm Dying Up Here. I was just going to, I mean, did you start at the Comedy Store?
No, I worked at a bunch, but I didn't start there. I started at the Improv and Catch a Rising Star in Manhattan back in the 70s. I was an East Coast guy back then.
Okay, that's right. I should have listened earlier. Yes. Well, what was your experience? Sorry, what was your experience working on that show? What was your feeling about it?
Oh, I thought it was a wonderful opportunity for people to see what good actors comedians are. One smashing performance after the next, where no one will get you to cry faster than a comic when they're acting.
Yeah, like
Brad on the balcony,
Garrett.
And he just he wants to jump and commit suicide. He don't want to be famous anymore. That what he did was so real. I'm feeling it right now. I
was just bringing that up.
Gold.
Yeah.
Judy Gold's performance, Kathy Ladman. So many people put forth. Andy Santino, smashing work.
I agree.
Al incredible.
I was very sorry when they canceled that because I wanted to see more. I was enjoying it very much.
All right. Tell everyone where we can see set list.
My new Rick Overton's set list special can be found on comedydynamics.com, Amazon Prime, and on YouTube. You can rent it on Hulu, and soon to be on Netflix as well. And it's an all improvised 1 hour comedy special.
Very cool. Rick, thank you so much, buddy. And it's been a pleasure talking with you, man. And I hope to see you in person soon.
Thanks again, brother. I look forward to seeing you in person. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, that was Rick Overton, and I really appreciate his time. It was kind of awkward, but I'm going to bring the guys back in now. Come on, bring the guys. And thanks. Rick.
Oh, great job.
We were having definite issues with the video. I think it might have been the storm Ida, who names anyway. But we will do what we can to save as much as we can of the interview.
There'll be plenty. There'll be plenty. I think. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's get serious here. We had a great time today. It was a lot of fun. We learned a lot of interesting facts about each other. So just listen. Come to our website, which is www.thebbradio.com. And you got all your past shows, your present shows. When you go to YouTube, make sure you subscribe. And leave us a comment, for God's sake.
Really?
Would it kill you? Would it kill you to leave us a comment? Would that kill you just to say, hey, way to go, guys. Hey, I hate you guys. Hey, I love you guys. Hey, I'm gonna kill you guys. No, I don't know.
If you don't leave a comment, we're sending that mask guy to your house.
Yeah.
And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Craig, tell them where.
Sure thing, Joe.
Oh, my God, 17 weeks.
Yeah. On Instagram, we're just plain Bitchin Baby Boomers. And on I don't remember now. And on Twitter, we're the BBB Radio Podcast.
That's right.
Joe.
30 weeks. The mentalists can't remember the websites.
Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Go on, audience.
Peace. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Tune in next week to more Bitchin' Baby Boomers.